We hear all the time that before somebody is ready to buy from you, they need to know, like, and trust you. And the higher your prices are, the more important this becomes. But what do we mean by know, like, and trust in business? And how can we take our customers through this journey? So first of all, people need to know you. And this is about brand awareness and visibility. Once they're aware of you, the work begins to start helping them to get to like you. And this comes through engagement and relationship building. Once you've built a relationship, they start to trust you. And when people trust you, they feel comfortable buying from you. So over the next 15 minutes or so, I will be going through the know, like, and trust stages in a little bit more detail to give you an overview of the customer's journey. I'll share some ideas around how you can incorporate each stage into your business. And then I'll leave you with some questions and exercises to discuss about your own experiences as a customer, because that'll generate further ideas to use in your own business, because you'll see it from a different perspective. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at what each stage involves. So the know is about brand awareness and visibility. Brand awareness is about being visible to the right people in the right place at the right time. I often hear that business is all about who you know, but I would challenge that and say business is actually more about who knows you. Customers can't buy from you if they don't know you exist. You need to be visible. So if people don't know about you, it doesn't matter how good you are, you won't make sales. And without sales, sadly, you have no business. So when we talk about brand awareness, what do we mean? There are different elements to a brand, and they include things like the visual side, so the logo, the brand colours that people recognise. Your message, how clear are people about what you do? The tone of voice, this is all about the language you use. Are you a formal or an informal brand? Are you educational? Are you entertaining? Are you motivating? Are you humorous? Your tone of voice is how you come across in social media, on your website, and through your promotional materials. It depends on who you're talking to, what you're selling, and what action you want people to take as a result. Your brand's tone of voice needs to resonate with your customer. And then there's positioning in the marketplace. Are you a budget brand, a mid-market brand, or a premium brand? Where you position yourself will be reflected in your pricing and the way you market your business. And then what are your brand values? What do you stand for? One of the most powerful ways of connecting with people is through your values. So depending on your brand, some people will connect with you and others won't, and that's okay. So how visible are you in your area? If I mentioned your brand to your target market in your area, would they recognise who I was talking about? So the first stage is know. People need to know who you are. Once people know you exist, then the next stage of the journey is to get them to like you. So like is all about engagement and relationship building. It's about being relatable to your target market. Remember that it's okay if not everybody likes you. Trying to be all things to all people makes you bland. You want to really stand out in your marketplace and let the people that are your target market know you, so you can serve them the best through your business. Around 10% of people will love your business and love you, and they'll be your tribe. 10% might not resonate with you for their own personal reasons, and about 80% won't really care either way. So focus on the 10% that love you and put your time and energy into connecting and building relationships with them, because they're the ones that are more likely to be your customers in the end. So how can you do this? One of the strongest ways is through your brand story. Stories are a really powerful way to get your message across. So for example, the Dove toiletries brand is all about promoting real beauty through celebrating inner confidence in all women. People buy into the story before they buy into the products. If the story speaks to them and they resonate with the message, that takes them a step towards liking you more, because they like what you stand for. Then you as the brand owner will have your own story too. So for example, you might have been through certain struggles to get to where you are now. Maybe you had a problem and you couldn't find a solution in the marketplace, so you created your own product or service, and now you help other people. So that's a great story. Or maybe you've got a passion about something that really brings you alive, and if other people have got a similar passion, then again that really helps them to connect to you. The media love personal stories. Another way of connecting is through your message. So get really clear about what your message is, and then use it in your content, whether that's advertising, social media, blogs, etc., to communicate to your audience. When you're communicating your message, you want to do it in a way that gets people to engage. So don't worry too much about how many followers you have or how many likes you have. It's more important to get a depth of engagement than width. So ask questions, share insights, get people talking. Not only is this a great way to establish you as an authority, but it's also great for market research, because when people engage on social media, you can really listen to what they're saying. What questions are they asking? And then make sure you answer them. Become the go-to person in your area for your type of product or service. So this stage isn't about selling, it's about engaging, building credibility, and nurturing relationships. Once people get to know and like you, then it's time to start building trust, and that's when they start to feel safe buying from you. So trust is when people feel comfortable buying from you. You don't have to go in with a hard sell. Instead, if you've carried out the previous two stages well, where people know who you are, they like what you do and what you stand for, then the final stage is more about answering questions and giving reassurances before they take the final step. Okay, so that's given you a very quick overview of the three stages. Now let's have a look at more tangible actions that you can take under each of these sections for your own business, and you can use these as checklists to create action points for discussion. Okay, so starting with know. So this is about brand awareness and visibility, and here are some of the actions that you can take. So you can have a really clear brand identity that people can recognise. For example, a strong logo, strong colouring, maybe a strapline that people recognise. Be clear about who your customers are and who you want to engage with. Have a clear message that you communicate consistently throughout all of your content. Communicate your brand values, what you stand for. What kind of a brand are you? Is it all about quality, fun, reliability, humour, sustainability, innovation? These help people to decide whether or not your brand is for them. And then share what you stand for on your website. Also share your story as the founder of the business. Give people somebody to relate to. Be the face of the business. Be somebody that the media can connect with. And then give your brand some personality. Allow people to get to know you beyond the actual business. The next one is like. So here you can capture details for both existing customers and new inquiries so that you can start to build a relationship. You can build a following on social media, but if you lose your account, you lose your customers. So make sure you capture your customers' details off social media as well. So for example, by asking them to subscribe to a mailing list so that you can keep in touch. Also, do you have a system in your business to nurture new clients who aren't ready to buy? How do you stay in touch with new inquiries? Do you take them through a funnel, through a process? How do you build trust? Do you have an email list? Do you send out regular newsletters? Do you let people know when you create a new product or service? Do you invite them to special events or give them previews for new products or services? Do you give them special offers? So these are all some of the ideas that you can start to use. How do you encourage prospective new clients to try your product or service? Do you offer freebies or samples or taster sessions? How do you build your credibility with your audience? Have you won any awards? If you have, do you talk about them? Have you had any amazing results with clients? Have you created case studies? And then create aspirational content that connects to your customers and gets your message across. So this stage is very much about providing value, not about hard selling. People want to see you and hear you, so creating videos is also another great way to get visible. And then trust. So again, just as a reminder, this is about helping people to feel comfortable to buy from you. So before people will part with their money, they need to feel comfortable. How can you create a safe space for customers to buy from you? What questions might they have? What will help to take away their doubts? And so some of the things that you can think about are the higher the price, the higher the risk. How can you minimize this for customers? What happens if they're not happy? Do you have guarantees? Do you have trial periods? Do you have money back options? And then how do you handle customer complaints? So true customer service can make you stand out from your competition. If you really look after your customers, especially if things go wrong or they have a complaint, that can really make you stand out, because a lot of businesses get really defensive and bad experiences lead to bad reviews. What are the most common questions people ask about your product or service? Do you have an FAQ section on your website? And then some of the other things to think about are, do you have any third-party endorsements? So for example, testimonials and customer reviews that you share on your website, on social media, on your Google profile. Video testimonials from clients can be really powerful too. Do you actively ask current clients for referrals? Warm leads tend to be less price sensitive, so that's a great way to gain new customers. And then how do you keep in touch with previous customers? How do you encourage repeat purchase? It's easier and less expensive to sell to people who have already bought from you, as long as they had a good experience. And then remember, happy customers can almost be like a sales force for you, because if they're happy, then they're going to talk to other people about you and refer people to you. So that is trust. Okay, so now sometimes what business owners do is they think, we tend to think too much about things from the side of our business. And when we put ourselves in the shoes of our customer, we can see things from a different perspective. And that can give us new ideas to improve how customers can relate to us in our own business. So I've just put together some thoughts, some questions, some exercises to get you thinking. So I put together 5 questions. First is, think of a brand that you love and that you'd be happy to recommend to others. Why do you feel so passionate about it? What is it about that brand that you really like, that you've bought into? And then think of a brand that you would never buy from. What's the reason? And then what can you learn from these in your own business? It might be about presentation, about delivery, about customer service. What is it that turns you on and off brands? And how could other people then feel the same about you? The second question is, have a think about the last low cost, medium cost, and high cost product or service that you bought. How did your journey as a buyer differ in each case? How did you make your decision to buy? What influenced you? Did you ask any questions? What sort of customer service did you get? Did you look at some options and then decide not to buy? What's the reason? What turned you off? And what can you learn from that for your own business? Number 3 is, imagine that you are your ideal customer and look at the journey from their point of view. Is it clear who you are and what you stand for when you Google yourself? Can customers contact you easily with inquiries? Are you easy to find? What are others saying about you behind your back? What are people saying in testimonials and in reviews? Is your messaging consistent across different platforms? So for example, on your website and social media, in leaflets and business cards. And then think about your credibility in the marketplace against your competitors. What makes you the go-to person in your area? What makes you stand out from others? Do you write articles? Do you speak at events? Do you have videos sharing your expertise on social media? What processes do you have in your business that help potential customers to go through the know, like and trust process? And then finally, what turns you on and off when you're buying other people's products and services? If you could give other brands advice about how they could make the buying decisions and the processes easier for you, what would you say? And then how could you use that same advice in your own business? Okay, so that brings us to the end. So I have shared an overview of the customer's journey through the know, like and trust process. I've shared some ideas around how you can incorporate each stage into your own business, and then came up with some questions and exercises to get you thinking. So now it's all over to you.